So far, so good. Honestly, like, no complaints. Hey, what's going on, Raph?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound great. Can you hear me on your end? Awesome. Well, thanks for being here with us. Definitely a pleasure to introduce you to the channel, and just excited to hear about how you discovered Decentraland. And when going through your application, I have to say, like, I was excited. I know we've already talked and we've already collaborated, and I was excited to see your application. So, take the second to introduce yourself, and thanks for being here.
Heck yeah. Hey, thanks for having me here. A little bit about myself. Frisky. My real name is Sean. I grew up in Bronx, New York. Been in the U.S. Army for about 9 years, 4 years active, 5 in the reserves. What really got me into Decentraland was, the community. I remember my first time spotting Genesis Plaza, and at first I was overwhelmed. I was like, man, what the heck is all of this stuff or whatever? But it was great. I had a friend show me around, and I was like, man, there's so much, good vibes, good energy. I'm really digging this community.
Totally.
That's when I started, making, wearables and stuff, and I don't know, it's fun. It's amazing.
Absolutely. So you say you had a friend who showed you around Decentraland. Like, when was that? Like, what did they come up and say to you? What was it that kind of like brought you in there?
Well, first they were like, she was kind of telling me like, hey, have you heard about the Metaverse? I was like, yeah, I have, but I'm not sure. I was really reluctant at first, but what really grabbed my attention was like, she was like on her laptop, and she was like, oh, check this out, Sean. And she was like riding this dragon, and I was like, what the heck? And then she just dropped into Wonder Mine, and she started crafting, and I was like, man, this is pretty badass. And then I think, I'm sorry for the cursing.
No, please, you can you can say whatever you want. You're all good.
Cool. But I think later that night, I think she went to a club, and there was a whole bunch of EDM music. I was like, man, this is so cool. Like, the community is amazing. There's so much you can do, and a lot of great vibes, a lot of great people. And that's when I started playing. And quick shout out to Meta Party. They gave me the opportunity. Rez, God, Ari. They gave me the opportunity to go to Fashion Week to display my wearables, which I thought was super awesome, especially for me just hopping on, month 2, so
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed it.
Well, first of all, let me just say that thank you for your service, as a sort of somebody who's served, to protect others. He's just really grateful to have someone of your stature here with us. And, I think it just goes to speak of how ultimately we all share these different experiences in life, but when we come here to the Metaverse, we all sort of see this open and new opportunity, which there isn't any divide. Like, I don't think there's anybody who says anything like, oh, I'm from like this part, this district, I'm from this community. Like, everyone's just kind of open and discovering each other. And
Right.
I was really intrigued by your app. First of all, shout out Mariana. Much love for the community sub right there. People are actually showing you a lot of love and a lot of excitement in chat right now. And just people are making a lot of noise. And, people are excited to have you here. Let me tell you a bit about why I was so pumped to have this conversation with Sean. Can I call you Bumblebee? I kind of think that's a dope...
Yeah, heck yeah.
Sick. So yeah, let's see. What is your friend's name, by the way? Do I know that? Are they from the community? Like,
Yeah, I think you might have seen her running around. Her
Handle, yeah.
in-game name is Goldilocks. I've actually worked with her and like created some wearables, but she's the one who told me like, hey, Sean, you need to get on this. This is super cool, and I fell in love with it.
100%.
The community is great.
what was the first social? It says you got in here first through social events. Like, what was the first social event that you sort of got into?
I think it was Magic Hour was one of the biggest events that I went to, and I remember Stoney playing, and he was in chat, spreading love and good vibes, like, hey, shout out to, Goldie, Frisky, Mariana, Meta Jews. I was like, man, this community is so cool, man, Especially me, this is like week 2, Like,
Yeah.
no one really knows me. You gave me a shout out, that's pretty badass.
Oh man, well hey, that's just, I mean, it's exciting because we're all discovering this together. It's such an early space, I feel like it's like those
Right.
early people to go out west, I have a feeling like
Yeah.
they're all like, hey, we could all die at any moment, like you need some help getting across this river, like
Right?
that's kind of like what it is here. And you said you've been here not too long and you're just kind of starting to get over there, and now here obviously you found people who are ready to help you get over that river. First of all, I love your outfit right here, the suit that you got on. 2 questions. Number 1, where'd you get this wearable? Tell me about it. Second question, what has been the biggest river, aka challenge, that you faced in Decentraland right now, and how'd you get over it?
So for the wearables, the suit I'm rocking is with Meta Parties. I had to do it just
It's
because,
nice.
they show me so much love. Give me an opportunity to go to Fashion Week, and I was a new guy, so
Dude,
I
you're wearing a
had
suit
do
to
it, man.
the interview, man. I think that's already points right there, bro.
Heck yeah. And then, of course, I got my helmet. That's my first wearable I ever published, which is the Cyber Ninja Collection. So, that's
I love that,
super
dude.
cool.
That's you made that, man. Honestly, I love that collection. I have rocked that at many night parties because it's a great vibe. Well done.
Heck yeah. I guess one of the biggest challenges is, being new to the game is still trying to explore the different venues with it, because Decentraland is huge, and I was
100%.
learning about Wondermine, even recently I learned about MetaZoo, which is kind of embarrassing because they've been out for a while, but
Well, hey,
but
there's so much to discover, and just the fact that you discovered them, that's good, man. MetaZoo is I love what they do.
yeah, they're super cool. But this kind of brings me back to applying for this position, because I remember my experience first spawning to Genesis Plaza, and I could see maybe someone else spawning for the first time, and they didn't have like in my case I had Goldilocks show me around, but
Yeah.
they didn't have anyone. So for some people it could be a little overwhelming, and then they're gonna oh man, I don't get this, whatever, and they might go somewhere else or whatever.
Oh, I'm so with you. I'm so with you on that. And you know what? It just gives people the confidence to go into this space and feel something, which I think is the core of what really people maybe subconsciously are always looking for, which is that feeling of discovery. I feel personally, growing up in life, feeling discovering has been the core of what I'm looking for in life. I'm always trying to discover a show that brought me this sort of immersive storytelling experience, or it can be as simple as a new show or a new food, a new place to
Right.
travel to in the world. It's all about discovering, and sometimes discovering doesn't happen so often because we get older and we get familiar with the world, or we get stuck in the same routine, or we don't get a chance to get out of those circles. So I feel the metaverse in this space has opened up discovery, and you,
Oh, yeah.
by doing what you're doing and by being on this part of this team, are going to open up that discovery to other people. And people like Vinix in stream, shout out muito obrigado, who says he's proud to have me represent somebody from Brazil and to share that story. And that's just it. Not only are we sharing this story, but we get to represent other people who who feel they want their story told here in the metaverse. Because if it's not for you and I, Sean, the reality is that it's most of the stories that are going to get told truly are going to come from the mass media companies, which, no offense, they just don't have a pulse on what we see face to face. What is a moment that you've experienced in Decentraland that you feel was a memory or an experience that you feel you want to capture more of that in your reports moving forward?
Just certain unique experience, even meeting with certain people from around the world. A lot of the events I've been to, people are from the UK,
Totally.
Brazil, various places in the United States, Alaska, and it's great to capture that moment of everyone, globally from around the world, just sharing that unique experience with each other, whether it's just, dancing out, listening to good vibes, or whether it's like showcasing something new that's about to happen in the Metaverse and the Decentraland platform. I think, reporting those key moments is like super unique, and I think that's
100%.
probably one of the main things I'm trying to capture.
Absolutely. And I mean, your unique perspective and what you find to be important, like, I'm not, we're gonna have different stories that us as a community we're gonna get excited about, but ultimately, like, it's gonna be up to you to decide what stories you want to tell and what perspective you want to share. And that's kind of the beauty of what we do here as a team. Like, it's not this whole notion of there's one script, there's one way we have to perceive something. Like, an event might drop and you might say, oh, I didn't like how the event was run, and somebody else might say that they liked how the event was run, and both deserve to be a part of the report and reflected. And
Absolutely.
That's the way we're gonna be approaching things. And like, I'm excited to see how your perspective unfolds. And I saw that ultimately some of the things that you were talking about was like, you have a commitment to reporting. You feel, you have skills as a speaker. Do you feel like you would be able to commit to your like 1 hour slot once a week, to capture the history of what's happening here? Like, is that going to be a challenge for you?
Not at all. I mean, one thing the Army's taught me is utilize every 24 hours per day, So, I remember certain times where we were doing certain operations and we only had 3 hours of sleep. 1 hour commitment to really capture those special moments, especially in Decentraland. Like, I think something I could definitely make a priority. I could definitely allocate an hour of my time, once a week or even twice a week, just depending, what new events are coming. And
Totally.
hope you guys vote for me, man.
Hey, you know what? I will say I can give the crew the upvote here. I agree. I think this needs to go into our DAO. I think we're lucky to have you here with us, and I'm gonna throw this into our proposal right now. So everybody's out there, make sure you come out here and vote. Should Frisky Bumble be approved as a Decentraland reporter? I'm gonna throw your Twitter page here for them. And I will say right now, I'm excited, and given in 1 week you have your approval, you'll hear from me, and we will set up we're gonna have like a little workshop session before getting started. And like, at the end of the day, this is like just a fun team. And if you've been tuning in, we're gonna have a lot of awesome people coming in, and like, partnerships. And it's just like, this is like, how do you say, intramurals, like, we have fun, we're here, we get rewarded, yes, we get opportunities. And I'll say, like, as a Decentraland reporter, I have had the opportunity, and like, Fractillions, DCL tour guides, Big Ben, like, everybody on the team can attest to this. We get awesome opportunities because people want to have their story told here. So I think people will appreciate your perspective, and looking forward to see the kind of stories that you share. Appreciate you being here, Bumblebee.
Heck yeah. Well, thanks for having me here. And, high fives, man. I can't do it in real life, but, camera.
well, soon enough, we got to get our Metaverse high fives going on.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get there soon enough. And when it does happen, we'll make sure that we catch the first high five on the Decentraland Report from the Metaverse.
Heck yeah. Once again, thanks again for having me, and heck yeah, hope you guys vote for me.
Yeah, man, totally. You have a great rest of your day.
You too, man.
See ya.